Hi everyone. Wanted to record this video. This is actually a story about my good friend Jeff. And I don't know what I'm gonna title this, but I think I'll call it "What Are the Odds?" Okay, so a couple people are involved, and it's really about what are the odds. So it's my good friend Jeff, and well, we work together on several different projects together. We're not buddy buddies as we could say, but we work together on several projects. So, and he lives way out in Utah. I met him through a friend of a friend, which we happen to do business with, an affiliate network. So let me just continue. So the couple of things that I felt were on top of us working together, and I'll get to that in a second. Was we have 4 kids, but that's not as uncommon, especially in Utah the way it is. He's got 4 daughters, and I've got 4 kids, right? Daughters are in competition. They're in cheerleading. Jeff's daughters and my daughters were in karate competition. So competitive family, which is about that's a very good trait. Obviously, different types of competition. In fact, I picked up Jeff at the airport when they were out here doing a competition, a cheerleading competition, and he's just been always supportive of all the videos I've shown of when my daughters competed in karate. So that's cool. Now, professionally, we had worked on some project, meaning he had hired me as a copywriter, and I had built landing pages for a couple of his clients that I worked directly with, which included Robert Allen, Donald Trump. So those are a couple of the people. In fact, if you go onto if you go onto my website, which I don't copyright anymore, but it will show under my portfolio some of the pages I had created for Jeff and his clients. So there's Robert Allen there, and earlier you just saw Trump's. There's these are the other projects that I had worked on. So that's what that. And L-arginine. He has a nutritional products he constantly markets all the time. One of them was L-arginine. I helped market that. Some made money, some didn't. Donald Trump and Robert Allen's account was definitely a big one. And then Addy Up was he also did a supplement company for Brain. It's Addy Up, which is a natural version of Adderall. So when I had worked with him on that as a contractor, trying to get it into some of the smoke shops and some of the vape shops here in Los Angeles, I had created some promotional materials like that, as you can see, right? And even myself, I used some myself as branding it because I believed in that type of product. Anyways, anything natural. So those are a couple of the projects that I worked with, and this is a little on the side. His brother happens to be in MMA, and I'll talk about that later. So that's kind of coincidental. So, and I'll say why later. So that was that. So then that's my friend Jeff. Now that's me, right? So now years later, years before I met Jeff, I had met a guy named Michael Hughes. Okay, now Michael Hughes. The reason I met him was because I actually owned a smoothie shop in San Marcos, San Diego. I live in Los Angeles right now, so San Marcos. I lived there for 10 years. And when I was there, I owned a smoothie shop called Planet Smoothie, right, like that. So 2 doors down. In fact, I had actually introduced acai in a big way, but that's something different. But anyways, 2 doors down was a Kinko's. Now, I happened to work at Kinko's long time ago as a corporate manager there, where I handled 3 branches. I had 90 employees and 3 branch managers and 3 assistants that was working with me, and I was servicing large clients, right? So that clients that were spending at least $5,000 a month in printing at Kinko's, and I would wine them and dine them, take them out to dinner, strategic selling, stuff like that. So one day, walk into Kinko's, I meet this guy, Michael Hughes, cool guy, and he was just doing that little bit on the side, I guess, to get out of the house. But he's a big guy in Prepaid Legal, a network marketing company. So me being a fan of network marketing, or being in that industry anyways, even though I was personally not interested in doing network marketing, I had a direct marketing company where I was doing internet marketing or snail mail marketing. And print. That's why I can copyright. I was not interested in network marketing. However, I always admired what had been taught in network marketing, learning how to network, learning how to present in front of an audience, recruit, stuff like that. So good stuff. I had Kinko's was one thing. He was in prepaid legal. I actually had one of my managers at the Planet Smoothie, which I was considering as my assistant, which I actually eventually had her as my personal assistant. All she had was experiences in high school and working for my smoothie shop. Well, she was my personal assistant for the businesses I was doing at the time, which included copywriting and I was doing some of the financial services stuff. I'll get into that in a second. But I needed a personal assistant that was a little bit more professional. And you're not going to learn how to be a professional at going to college, even if you're in business school. Well, I thought the best way for her to be learning how to be professional and dress professional and act in a professional manner was that she goes to network marketing meetings, specifically prepaid legal. They're all dressed in suits and very professional manner. So I actually sent my personal assistant to Michael and says, hey, can you just get her, take her to meetings, stuff like that. I'll pay for the membership for her to become a distributor and get her into get her used to being a network marketing company, because I'll be able to utilize that later. So he had done that, which was great, and then she was my personal assistant for about 2 years or so. Okay, lovely, beautiful, gorgeous girl. Which I shouldn't have said that, but anyways. Okay, so all right. So anyways, that's a whole nother story. All right, and then on top of that, I was generating leads for Michael, because he. I get people that want to start a home-based business all the time, and I just funnel them to Michael. And I said, Michael, if you could use them and recruit them into prepaid legal, just put them underneath me. So I have a distributorship in prepaid legal with an NDA, and so technically I was a director at one time, and because he stuffed all the people that came in through the leads under me, right? So they're genuinely my people, but I never talked to them. But the funny thing was, after I met Jeff, after I'd done business with him for a while, going back to Jeff, circling back to him, I find out they were roommates in college. And I'm like, wow, what are the odds, right? I mean, it's like, okay, Michael's in San Marcos, and then Jeff's in Utah, and I'm here in LA, but I met him in San Marcos, and I thought, wow, what are the odds? The other thing that's kind of interesting is Michael's a twin. He's a identical twin, him and his brother. And as you know, Jeff's an identical twin, right? And I actually have twins. But they're fraternal. So, I thought that was kind of interesting, so if you don't see any of that stuff. So, so I independently met Michael, and then, I met Michael. So that's where we go with that. All right, so that's kind of one story, right? Okay. Story number 2. I meet a guy. I go to a real estate seminar, and I meet this cool guy named Matt. Now, this story is a little bit longer, but bear with me here, because I think the similarities of this is really interesting. The theme goes, what are the odds, right? So, Matt Reese. Now, I go to a real estate seminar that I purchased from Millionaire Mind Experience, right? Formerly by T. Hardrecker. So there's a guy that's speaking up on stage, great speaker, and he's a good-looking guy. So I'm like, I've been in the seminar business for a long time, and he's a little too good-looking, right? So, and we find out later during his presentation, great trainer, by the way, in real estate. He knows his stuff. Actually walks the walk and talk. He's not just a hired speaker. He's actually an investor in real estate, and he's doing this because he likes teaching. So throughout the course of his presentation and his training, which was excellent, he discloses that he's also a artist. He also acts, right? We'll go into the other stuff that he does later. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I'm sitting there, I'm enjoying the presentation, and I'm just saying it's a good looking guy because I could hear the giggles, of the ladies around me, like they're like, oh, he's so dreamy kind of thing. And I'm like, it's kind of cool. I shared that with Matt. So, but meanwhile, great training. I was trying frantically taking notes and stuff like that. And, he was actually encouraging the audience to go beyond their comfort zone. And if you are out of credit, which I was, to go outside your comfort zone. If there are people there to support you, how to communicate to them so you can get into real estate, right? Be able to afford or pull money to get into the real estate investing, right? Which was encouraging, and I actually acted on that during the training because he had given homework assignments, and I did that. Like for example, raise $50,000 tonight, and I did that night, which I never thought was possible. And I did that. He encouraged me, which was cool. So these are a couple of things that I thought, well, not I thought, happened to match. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Okay, so let's just go with it. Number one, he is a single father of two teenage girls. Two teenagers. One's a 14-year-old girl. The other one's I think 18-year-old boy. But he's had full custody of them. And that's, in today's world, it's very uncommon, right, for people, for guys to actually have custody of their child. So that was kind of interesting. I have full custody of my 4 children, right? Primary custody, actually full custody right now, and the mom is involved and does see them, but they primarily live with me. In fact, not primarily, they live with me, okay, 100% of the time. They go visit her, but they live with me. So that was interesting, which is like fine. That's not too uncommon. He's a martial artist. He owns 3 Taekwondo studios and still actively teaches. And I am a martial artist. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I was teaching actively. I was teaching my daughters up until probably half of this year. I still train them once in a while. However, I at times was teaching up to about 150 to 200 kids a week, little kids to full-grown adults, Marines, in fact. It's a similar situation with women, and what I mean with that, and I'm going to show you a couple things, little clips of it, was one was he has there was this on his, let me just show you, on his demo reel that I saw on his site. He does this thing where he is talking to his. It's a great song, actually. If you can hear it. Let's see if you can hear it. Okay, so hopefully you can hear it, but it's a great song. It's a music video. He's also a musician, a singer, and I thought, wow, this is a pretty good music video, and I like the song. So I mentioned that to Matt when I saw this, and he said, well, I actually wrote that song for my ex-wife. And I was like, huh, that's real interesting. Because the reason I thought that was interesting was because I'm actually a trainer too. I'm a martial arts instructor, like I said. But I train world competitors that compete for the karate world level competitions. Stan Witz's world competition that they have annually over in Las Vegas. And this is me training them through actually mind training. So kind of like the Millionaire Mind kind of thing, but it applies to karate. Also, when a lot of Tony Robbins kind of thing. So this is me coaching these kids right here. You can see them. There's about 40 of them. They look innocent, but they are world level competitors. Some of them are world champions. Many of them are world champions, multiple world championships. So we send about 40 to 50 kids to the world competition every year out of the school of 500. We compete. We usually come back with about 15, 16 world champion titles among these kids. So, and my daughters actually compete. But this speech here, there's a section. Well, actually, there's a good portion of the speech that I actually written for my ex-wife. I wanted her to hear it. Basically, communicating with her through my speech. So, I thought that was kind of the similarities there. And I know we all have connections with our ex spouses, especially if we have children together. But I thought that was kind of cool. And there were similar situations with women, because I was asking some things about his personal life, and there were some matches along the lines of I've had situations where I'm focusing obviously on my children, but then I had been propositioned. I've been asked out, right? I've been asked out by these beautiful women, and I'm like, do I have time for this? And I had to just really ask him as a single dad, what do I do in these situations and stuff like that. So he had kind of gave me some advice, very very helpful advice. I appreciated that very much. So that was on that one. A model photographer. This is nice. Model photographer. The reason why I'm saying that is because on his music video, there is a music video which is it's actually pretty hilarious. It's a music video, and he is playing a photographer, right? He's playing a photographer, and he's bragging to his friends that he met this beautiful model girl that he is excited about doing a photo shoot with, and he takes it too far. He thinks that he's actually having a relationship with her as he's taking photographs of her, and at the end, it's hilarious because he actually ends up kissing her, and she slaps him, right? And it's hilarious because it's like he's goes in for a kiss, and she slaps him. It's like, oh my gosh. And I pointed out when I saw him at the training the next day, I had a kick out of the video, and I said, wow, that's funny because I actually got invited to a movie premiere from Millionaire Mind. I met this girl along with several ladies, and she actually was real nice and said, like, hey, I'm actually a model and an actress too. And I went, oh, cool. She goes, yeah, I gotta go to my movie premiere, so I was wondering if you want to accompany me. I went, yeah, do I have to rent a tuxedo or something like that? And she goes, no, just come with me. I went, okay. And I was kind of wondering, why is she doing that? I got 4 kids. Doesn't she have to go after some, leading stud of a guy, like a leading man guy, like a co-actor or whatever? Why are you taking me? That's maybe the date dropped out at the very last minute. So it was like that, very much like that. I was wondering throughout the day, like, oh, I'm having a great time, but what am I doing here? Am I on a date, or am I just her escort for the night? And I did go in for a kiss, which luckily I didn't get slapped. It went wonderfully. So that was a funny one, and I actually thought, man, one day if I ever made enough money with the residual income and stuff that I've been working on to becoming financially independent, I'd love to learn how to be a photographer one day so I could just do it as a hobby so I could be around beautiful women. I thought that would be cool. Oddly enough, I'll talk about where I got this later, but I now actually have to work with models. I just happen to just get a work. I started a contract with Jeff, and he told me what I had to do, and I go, let me get this straight. I have to talk to models and get them popular on Instagram. Okay. I have to work with models and modeling agencies. Alright, sure. So that's me right here shooting a video on the performance of this software. Software works phenomenally well. For example, 71,000 brand new Instagram followers in 3.5 weeks. Fantastic for this modeling agency. So that's a video of me doing that, a demonstration of me doing that. But I thought, all right, what are the odds? And the funny thing is, I got this job, and I worked with Jeff so many times, but I got it through Jeff. Okay, so I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. I kind of thought of it as a like one day, someday I'll, if I have enough time, kids are okay, I'm making enough money, I'd pick up a camera, maybe start being a photographer, as a hobby, right? And then now I have to work with models, which was interesting. Another one, Jack Reacher. And I'm going to try to move on quickly here. Jack Reacher, the reason I'm mentioning that is because in one of his demo reels, he actually, we're talking about Matt now. In his demo reel, he has this great video that he made a adaptation to Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher. If you saw the movie. So what's going on here is I guess he's going out on a date with somebody, and what happens is he gets confronted by 6 dudes. And with this is his brain in the movie calculates what do I have to do to just fight everyone really quick and just knock them out, like because he's only got a short period of time, otherwise they're all gonna gang up on him and beat him up. So it's going through his head. He's trying to talk his way out of it, being amicable, and but it seems like it doesn't work. And next thing you know, watch what happens. Wham, 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 right? He just knocks them all down, right? Like any cool action movie, right? Boom, boom, boom. But the cool thing I thought was what goes through his mind about during the fight situation and what happened. And I know it's a fictitious character. I've gone through that multiple times because of the fight sequences. I mean, not the fight drills that I've done through my training stuff. And I'll show that in a second. The other thing is also afterwards, he goes, after he does that and beats them up, he has to go on his date. And he goes on a date and he's hoping that the girl doesn't know what just happened occurred outside. He just beat up these guys. And he's on the date with the girl and the girl saw it. So he's like freaking out that, oh my gosh, what is this girl going to think of me now that I've done these things? And she's going to think I'm some, crazy lunatic. And she actually enjoys it. So that's like cool. But I've gone through the same thing too. Like I've hidden some of my fighting experience or things I've done because I don't know what people will think about that. Thinking that I'm weird, that I do these things, that I do these bare knuckle full contact fights on the side when I used to do that. So, for example, and I'll show you really quick. This is like my student right there, and you see me going up against him. This is bare knuckle full contact fight. He's about 6'2". He weighs about 210. I'm about 150 right there. There you go, side kick right there. We are doing bare knuckle full contact. Legs are open, chokes are done. This is down to submission. Obviously, I don't want to get grabbed by this guy, but there you go, boom, boom, boom. And this is bare knuckle full contact fighting. So you see me going at that. So I've done that. I'm gonna have to grab that in a second. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay. So there I am right there, and then this is a drill that I will do where you throw it in the middle, and actually you get attacked by 3 people sequentially, and we were supposed to do bare knuckle full contact, but this one actually they said if you throw them on the ground and you get thrown on the ground, the fight's over. So you're supposed to go in there and hit, kick, legs are open, no face, until somebody drops on the ground. And then it's done. So we can be up there fighting for 3 minutes, beating each other up. This is she's 16, but she's like trying to kick me and stuff, and I don't want to kick her or hit her. So then I sweep her, as you can see there, and then the last person will come up, and at least they're allowing me to tie my hair. It's like one after another, and then the last person will come up. This is Sensei Matt. First guy was Sensei Michael. I try to do a judo throw on. Second one I sweep her, and then third one I actually grab his head and I just crank it down and I drop him. All are world competitors when it comes to point and forms. Last guy is even a continuous karate competitor. So big, decent sized guys. I mean, they're bigger than me. So, but those are the things I've done. As well as my kind of fighting is a little different, where we have to take him out very quickly. As you can see, even with that one, I had to take him out, and he actually can't continue. And it's a pretty rough school. They cheer when this happens, right? They actually have to end up dragging the guy out. So that's kind of interesting. That's on that. I'm not gonna spend too much time on them. As well as I actually did something a little different. I actually was in South Central one time, and it was funny because I actually was there to meet a model. It was like one of these obsessive fans, and she flaked on me. And at the last minute, since she flaked on me, I was kind of a little upset about that. And I said, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go out around here. And it was in South Central, 105 and the 110 freeway. I decided to grab some fried chicken. Now, I may have been wearing the wrong color being in South Central, but you can see me there that I got out of the car. My friend of mine said, don't get out of the car. Are you crazy? And I went, I'm just going to go. And there's like a bunch of dudes out here, out in South Central. One guy actually came up to me and said, hey, my name's Bubba, and I just got out. Which is what he said. And I was end up getting some fried chicken. I was having some hush puppies and sharing food with them, and just hung out there for about an hour and basically made some new friends. Now, I had done that because I actually, maybe that's silly or stupid, but I don't know which one it is, but I was very confident that I could take them out if I ever needed to, right? Just from my experience. And it was stupid because they could have had a weapon, blah, blah, blah. However, I was more confident that I could talk my way out of it if that ever happened. So I put myself in that situation. I don't know why I did that. Years ago, I saw something with Bruce Willis in one of his Die Hard movie, Die Hard 2, where the terrorists tell him, you got to go in the middle of a really rough part of New York and have this big old sign that says, I hate niggers. And that's when Samuel Jackson comes in the movie, and then they partner up for the rest of the movie. And when I saw that a long time ago, I go, God, not that was on my bucket list, but one day I'd like to be able to do something like that. And not have any fear. Obviously I have no gun on me or anything like that, and I decided to do it. I don't know why, I just decided to do it. Something compelled me to do that. So that's on that one. What else we got here? I talked about the breeding movie, which I thought was hilarious, and even with this, which is it's a music video. He's in the military, and he misses his wife. Which is what the story's about, and you see him being kind of tortured, which is part of the tortured as a POW and a soldier. And actually, there are demonstrations of me doing stuff like demonstrations with actually real Marines coming out of it, because I was helping these guys get into get their belt system get their black belt in Hapkido, because when they're in the Micmac program, they're supposed to also train at another martial arts studio, so they can learn another martial art in order for them to get to go up to like a second degree in the Micmac program. So you'll see me do like a demonstration with them in front of the other kids, doing this. We're not doing full contact, we're just doing simulation. But yeah, during the simulation, since we're going kind of hard at this, he had hit my nose, and I'm actually bleeding at the end of this demonstration. So just want to share that as well. Not so much of what are the odds on that one yet, but I thought that was a little neat. And then the final thing, and I don't still in a lot of time on that, but this is probably the one that has the most connection, was finally. One of the hobbies Matt Reese has is he's a real estate investor. He does singing, he does acting, stuff like that, cool things like that. Single father, martial artist, owns karate studio, taekwondo studios. But the last thing was he said he also likes to produce movies, and I was like, that's interesting, because not that I was a movie producer, but I was a stage production producer long time ago. Stage show, like the stage shows, like when they have like the Grammys or stuff like that. At the very beginning they always have the stage production or stuff like that. This is where they do dancing and stuff like that. And I was actually pretty good at it. So just really quick, I don't want to go through the whole reels here. And every one of these, I think I'll send a link to them, or I'll put a link below. But I actually used to do productions, stage productions, and I started off small. And this is a long time ago when I was in high school. This is high school. So there I am right there in high school. I actually produced a car on stage, right? One of the things I kind of thought it was kind of cool to do. I produced a Corvette on stage. So that's me. And this is in high school with the drill team ladies on top of the car at a high school, and doing this act like that. And oddly enough, I didn't actually attend that high school, which is a whole other story, but that's me there. It kept on going. I've done other productions where this is, again, my senior in high school, But you can see, like in my senior in high school, I had actually was doing these shows like this, where this one actually had up to 170 dancers, guys and girls, doing this Asian themed martial art, kind of Asian themed. You see all these dancers out there doing this thing. I had done the creative concept design of this. So the concept itself, I created that along with the director of the show. I did some of the special effects that you'll see at the end. There you see me right there walking up towards the middle, leading this group, as I was the general, the samurai general of the whole army kind of thing. I'm the emperor's personal bodyguard. And you can see like the streamers just shoot out of everyone's hands and the fire coming out of his hands. So I did that. Plus I did a solo act on that. I didn't go to this high school. I was just doing this as a production because I was a producer at the time. And I was in high school, but I was not at this high school. And then it did continue on. I continued that on with even doing a show like this, which is I work with the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which does one main production a year, and it's called the Emmy Awards. So since I had experience as a producer, they actually had me. Well, I was the youngest producer, segment producer of the Emmy Awards, and there I am, producing at the Emmy Awards, and producing, like presenting at the Emmy Awards. I was a speaker there too. There I am, bringing in my lovely assistant, my prom date as well, prom date, Sarah Brown, beautiful girl. And that's Kim Lim. She ends up being a Rams cheerleader. Both of them I had a wonderful time with. And there he is, Tommy Davidson, hosted a show in living color. Obviously, it kind of dates me, but that's what I did then. Along with this is at the LA Emmy Awards. You can see me doing that at the LA Emmy Awards, doing an act like that, like a show, dance, magic, right, stuff like that. So I didn't dabble at that. I did definitely took it seriously in high school, and I was a stage show producer. So let's go back with that. So single father of 2 teenagers, single father myself, martial artist, martial art experience 20 years, trainer, 150 kids, world competitor, coach. Similar situation with women multiple times. Ex-wife, wrote a song for the ex-wife. I wrote a speech to the ex-wife. The model photographer thing, oddly enough, that was kind of neat. Jack Reacher, done that multiple times with the whole martial art thing. And then movie producer, stage show producer myself. What are the odds? Right? I'm thinking, what are the odds of that? Okay, so then, how does this all relate to Jeff Gardner? Well, he's actually, his brother is married into Jeff's family. Okay, and then Jeff actually showed me a video where Matt was like one of the spokesperson of one of the products that he was launching, a fitness nutritional product. Okay, well, Jeff knows a lot of people in the industry, and this guy's an actor anyway. Matt's an actor anyway, so yeah, that could be kind of, they live in Utah, so that makes sense. But what are the odds of that? Okay, now that's with Jeff. Now let's move on. So that's Matt. Michael earlier. I'm sorry. Let's go to. There was Michael earlier. There's Michael right up there. So I can do this. There's Michael. I'm sorry. I can move it around. Michael, and that's Matt in relationship with Jeff. Right? I thought that was kind of neat. Well, let's move on. After all this, let's move on to another gentleman that I happened to meet. In comes another gentleman, Derek. After the real estate seminar, I decided that actually real estate wasn't for me, so I made a few phone calls and I said, can I switch it to the stock investing program that you have there? So they said yes, which was great. And so I got into the stock investing program that they have at the Nudge. That's the company. So Derek is the speaker, great speaker, trainer, And same thing, walks his walk, actually does what he says he does versus just those speakers that are just hired speakers, right? So him and I connect. We end up hanging out. We go out for a drink that night, or after his seminar, and then that week later he was staying in town anyway, so we go out and have dinner, which was great. And I wanted to befriend him because he's a successful trader, and I wanted to learn how to trade, right? I mean, I'm learning how to trade, so I think he'd be a great. I know he's the perfect guy for me to be interacting with him. If I have an idea of trading, like I could run it by him before I place any kind of trades or anything like that, come up with crazy ideas. So I thought that would be perfect. So in the course of us going out, I find out that he's also a couple things about him. He also was a single father, okay, of 8 kids, full custody. I went, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting, martial artist. Like, okay, and he went into the whole thing about where he got trained and how he hired a personal martial art guy from China that could channel energy and stuff like that for just him and his son to train him over the summer. Cool stuff like that. Similar situation with women. I don't want to get into all the details, but specific things where he has a Thai wife. My wife is Thai. My ex-wife is Thai, and his child that he mentioned, I don't know how many of his 8, but is half Japanese, or his son is half or quarter Japanese because his wife is Japanese as well. Not full Japanese, but Japanese. Obviously, I'm Japanese. Derek is a trader, and I used to operate a hedge fund, my own hedge fund, very small one. And I had actually, at one time, what took me out of the game at one time was I actually lost 300 grand in a day. Which during 2008 stuff, so that was also some things, and I want to get back into that again as a trader and a hedge fund, maybe not a hedge fund, but just get back into trading. So then there was a fight situation. He was talking as a martial artist about a fight situation that happened in Chicago, where he was in Chicago and he says he had to fight. And I confirmed it. He told me this is what happens. Of course, I wasn't there, but he says he had to fight 50 guys, and they were a rough side of the area. And he told me they were African American, not being prejudiced. That's what he said they were. And I said, wow, that's kind of interesting because let me show you this video. It's on YouTube, me wearing the red shirt in South Central. But I did it for different reasons. I knew I could diffuse the situation. I put myself in the situation, knowing that I was much more confident I can diffuse the situation. But if I had to, I can defend myself. But I didn't even have to do that. I just did it anyway. So that was it. It says Central Copywriter, but it's South Central. And then in other words, copywriter. Copywriter. How am I a copywriter? Okay, so what ended up happening was when I had met Derek, I wanted to befriend him to learn how to trade. Be a better trader or someone I bounce ideas off of. Nothing about my copywriting service. In fact, I don't do that very often or anymore, really. But he found out I was a copywriter for Trump and Robert Allen. So he asked me, can you copyright for my not my company, but a company he partnered with? And I said, okay. I wasn't sure, but he convinced me, and I went, sure. From the product he showed me, it's fantastic. It's actually Green Polka Dot Box, which is delivering organic food, non-GMO products, delivering at home, and it's cheaper than Whole Foods, which is fantastic. So I went, yeah, I can write copy about that. And he wants to market to chiropractors. And I went, oh, I coach chiropractors. In fact, Michael Hughes is a chiropractor too. That's a whole nother connection. But so I went, yes. So I wrote copy for him, and then he's gonna send it out. He'll be doing that. And then he actually did ask, like, do you know anybody that would want to invest, because we're gonna do an IPO. And the guy behind Green Polka Dot is he has a company that's public right now. Anyway, so I actually said, yeah, let's see how the copywriting thing goes, and then I actually can introduce you to some affiliate networks who can put this in on, and you're looking for some investors. I have a couple people in mind, and I had 2 people in mind specifically that I've already mentioned on this video. So I had Jeff in mind, and I thought, well, I can't promise you anything, but I'll definitely show it to them. and they'll make their own decision. Well, Jeff and Matt, I thought I'd show it to you guys. But that's what it is with the green polka dot. So I became his copyright. Not a big deal because that is what I do. The interesting thing was he also got a contract with Gardner's Ryan on the exact same day. So it was real interesting because Derek went to a convention to chiropractors, and I called him. I said, how did it go? He goes, wow, I got real excited. I got this product with this contract. I'm gonna be doing a marketing thing, head of marketing for this L-arginine. And L-arginine is just like saying ginger, right? Or vitamin C. And I go, L-arginine, you talking about the Gardners? And he must have thought I was sidekick. I don't know. And he goes, yeah. And I talked to Jeff. I said, hey, Jeff, you know Derek? He goes, no. Who's that? And I go, well, he just said he was talking to the Gardners. He goes, oh, it must have been my brother, which was Ryan. And then the same day, of course, I was looking for work at the time. Jeff also says, hey, do you want to work on Influx, which is the modeling thing? So, yes. So on the same day, Derek starts working with Ryan for L-arginine, and I end up working with Jeff for Influx. So, again, what are the odds, right? What are the odds? So we've got Derek States here, connection with me, and then we've got Derek with connection with the Gardners. How is Gardner all possibly connected with this? Well, one day when I saw that, I actually asked Jeff. I called up one of my friends, which happened to be Jeff, and I trust him because we work together, and I've talked to him about different things, not just about work. His advice on certain things. So when I was about to sign up for the real estate seminar, I actually called up Jeff and I said, hey, have you heard of this company called Nudge? And he goes, yeah, they're my friends. The owners are friends of mine. We go golfing. They're down the street. I went, oh, okay, cool. You think you can get me a deal? She goes, yeah, I can get you a better deal than whatever. So he put me in touch with the best guy, the head of the something, call center or something like that, the top guy. I have his name, but I'm not going to share it. And I went, oh, cool. So he made a couple phone calls and got me a freaking smoking deal. And I was like, oh, if he didn't do that for me, I could have not have afforded getting the real estate seminar for sure. And of course later I switched it to the stock seminar, but I couldn't have gotten the program without Jeff making a phone call and talking to his buddy. And of course Nudge has hired both Matt and Derek. So that's the situation with that. I think it's pretty interesting and odd. I thought that was that's it. Just want to share that with you. I'm sorry it was a little long, but I had to just think that what are the odds of knowing all this stuff, knowing all these people. I know there's 7 steps of Kevin Bacon kind of concept, but these are all independent. Michael, Matt, and Derek, I guess, met them separately on their own, and they weren't all at one network marketing company or something like that. They're all at different places, and they all have a connection with Jeff. So that's all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.